It's the Orioles on Masson on a humid Tuesday night downtown. It's the Orioles and the Texas Rangers at Camden Yards. Tonight is Game 2 in this 4-game series. And hi, everyone. I'm Jim Hunter. If you go back to the Orioles playoff run in 2012, this has been a very resilient Orioles team. It is a trait that defines the players, and as a result, it defines the ball club. And if you look at the Orioles surge to the top of the standings in the month of June, it's been that resiliency that has helped them get to where they are. The Orioles are 18-9 in the month as they play today the final game in June. And remember, they began the month 0-3, but they have gone 18-6 since June the 4th, and they have done that by losing back-to-back games only once in that span. 24 games, that is the fewest losing streaks of back-to-back games in all of Major League Baseball. Now, Miguel Gonzalez goes to the mound tonight. He has 6 wins, 4 have followed Orioles losses as he is pitching tonight, and he has pitched extremely well at home, 3-0 with a 2.25 ERA and 5 home runs. So, Jim, when you talk about resiliency, you talk about living in the moment. That's what this team does. That's what Miguel Gonzalez must do tonight. Yeah, and, he's coming off a game in Boston. Last year he had the lowest ERA of all. The starters only won 10 games. Tillman won 13, Chin 16, Bud Norris 15. But arguably, I guess, we can always discuss that. That's what this game's about. Might have pitched as well as any of them. The one number, he's given up 32 runs, 21 on home runs. And again, if you're in the moment, as we try to be, they did hit 4 home runs tonight. So Hamilton back in the lineup. It'll be a good test for him. All right, we'll see if the Orioles can bounce back tonight, get a win in the final game of the month of June. We're coming right back. Lineups and first pitch are next. Is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Nice crowd on hand. It is Bud Norris T-shirt night as the Orioles play the final game of the month of June. Here's our BGE home game time temperature. 82 degrees, and that humidity almost doubled from yesterday. 70% breeze out of the southeast at 14. BGE home is Baltimore's home for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? So the Orioles looking to bounce back. Here's the Texas lineup against Miguel Gonzalez. ROUGNED, ODOR, then Chu, Fielder, and Beltre. Josh Hamilton off the disabled list to make the start tonight. In the lineup for the first time since May 31st. He had a hamstring strain. Mitch, Moreland, Elvis Andrus, then Martin and Chirinos for the Rangers. Take a look at Miguel Gonzalez. Fastball's a little under 60% of the time. Breaking ball, slider, curve balls, slider, along with the splitter, which is the changeup, his biggest swing and a miss pitch. Also a pitch that both of them that he can get ground balls on.
So there are the numbers, and as Jim Hunter told you, 3-all at home. Again, the ERA a little bit higher than last year, but the run support at just under 5 runs a game. Of course, nothing can compare with Colby Lewis, number 4 in the American League in run supports. But it's a nice matchup that both of these pitchers, both Lewis and Gonzalez, pitching well. And he's a little different, maybe luck for the Rangers. Bud Norris, more a hard type guy, everything between 86, 87, and 94. Miguel won't throw that hard, but the master of changing speeds, in and out, up and down, get you out on your front foot, and that didn't happen a whole lot. The Rangers scoring 8 runs last night.
One of the questions about Miguel, you talk about it all the time. This is definitely a hitter's ballpark, a hitter-friendly ballpark. Why is it, do you think, he pitches so well here?
Because he stays out of the middle of the plate. So, something that Bud Norris had a little problem doing last night.
And it's a little low to Odor, and we are underway.
We always talk about, I remember Earl Weaver used to always say that, when guys could change speeds, I mean, some guys that didn't have big names, Freddie Bean, they throw the unexpected. And, we'll see if Miguel, and of course he has to be on his game to do that, but you just never can really look for pitches. I mean, right here, I would imagine there's Bud, coming off a game where, he had good stuff last night, just got some balls in the middle of the plate, and to Texas credit, they hit him. But see right there, and if you watched the game last night, if you're Miguel or Odor, one of the youngest players, as you mentioned, 20 years old, now 21, had some good at bats. They really hit the ball well. They were the Rangers of May when they averaged over 5 runs a game.
How about that? Very uncharacteristic of Miguel. Not only a walk, a 4-pitch walk to begin the game. Let's get a look at American Standards. Who's hot, who's not? Celebrate the season with the American Standard All-Star event. Visit MidAtlanticComfort.com for amazing rebate and financing opportunities.
Yeah, Travis Snider, and we saw him, some tremendous defensive plays, and he's hitting with runners in scoring position. Shin Soo Choo, of course, the $130 million contract last night. He's not hot over the month of June, but last night he had 3 base hits and made a nice catch, hit a home run. I don't know what they expected of him.
Well, let's see. He's either 4 for his last 19 or 3 for his last 5.
I think he's probably looking 3 for his last 5. And there are the numbers right there. Home run, the RBI, a couple of runs. Fastball to left, fastball for a home run. Nice running play off the bat of Delman Young. Odor, last year, he again, as a 20-year-old, good speed, but didn't steal bases. I think, 4 out of 11. This year, a little bit better, 5 out of 8. This team, 53 stolen bases, only been caught 19 times. So they run a little bit. At least that's one of their options offensively.
And a throw to first to keep him close. Odor is 5 out of 8.
Yeah, the amazing thing is 14 start, so 13 kind of over the waterfall as a starting pitcher, and they've only tried to run 1 time off of Miguel Gonzalez. An amazingly low number.
Bunt attempt, and it goes foul. Orioles had the semi-shift on with Miguel wide of the bag at third.
And that's a great play. I mean, it's a heads-up play. I think it's a little bit smarter to do with no strikes, because then you would have had Manny come in for at least 1 strike. Now he'll go back. You'll see him. He'll go back to where he was playing, shortstop. And again, if you're going to bunt for a base hit, you got one of the best hitters in baseball coming up behind you, and Fielder hitting 348. Heads up play, just didn't get it done.
Well, Miguel ahead 1-2. Long look at Odor, who's got a small lead. Check swing down and in.
Yeah, now they put the shift on, at least a more pronounced shift, at least early on in the count. It's just amazing the way not only the Orioles, but all the teams, they shift on the count. It's almost kind of just, you play a couple of steps, but now it's yards and yards.
Fly ball to left, that's playable for Snider. Well, carries a little bit better in the humidity, and Snider back on it for the out, 1 away, and Odor back to first.
Yeah, let's take a look at the defense for the Orioles here at Camden Yards. Snider, Jones, and Chris Davis. That's right. Started playing over the weekend against Cleveland in right field. Machado, Hardy, Flaherty, Parmalee. Chris Parmalee over at first. Matt Wieters catching every other day or night, whatever the game may be. Tonight it's twilight here.
Muggy day. What a difference a day makes.
It was.
Front came through about noon today, and when it left the humidity. Here's Prince Fielder. Now 1 down.
When you get old, you'll be like me. You get up early, and you're okay. You know, yesterday I actually had to go back in, and on the way to the gym about 8:15 or whatever, I had to put on a top. Today we're going.
Oh, you were cold.
Can I wear a tank top? No, not at my age. You can't do that. But I mean, it was totally different. The weather. What about 88 today with humidity to match?
And there's a strike on the corner.
You know, you talked about Miguel Gonzalez, so he didn't obviously want to walk ROUGNED ODOR, but he did. And then he gets Chu to hit a pop fly down the left field line, so they don't advance the runner. He just has the ability to get you out so many different ways when he's on his game.
Coming off a win last Thursday in Boston. There's a bouncer towards the hole. Flaherty has it. Spins out there. Hardy back to first. There's a double play. Nicely turned by the Orioles. Flaherty, Hardy to Parmelee. Well, up to the bottom of the first. Here come the Birds. Night at the ballpark. No score. Here come the Orioles. Here's the Orioles starting lineup brought to you by Southwest. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Manny Machado, Jimmy Paredes, and Adam Jones. 19 multi-hit games for Adam on the year, trailing only Manny Machado. Chris Davis, the Matt Wieters, Chris Parmelee, J.J. Hardy, Travis Snider, and Ryan Flaherty. A left-handed heavy lineup tonight for the Birds.
Colby Lewis last year led the Rangers in most starts. So fastballs about 89. He'll cut it. Breaking ball, big curve ball, a little bit of a slider, got a changeup. So 35 years old and a veteran. You can see wins 7-3. Nice little year there. Gets him almost a hit an inning. He's walking under 2 per 9 innings. So he makes you put the ball in contact. And I think one thing these two pitchers have in common, Colby a little bit older than Miguel Gonzalez, are both fly ball pitchers in a pretty hitting friendly ballpark.
Well, here is the Orioles' hottest hitter at the moment, Manny Machado, and he'll look over ball one. Manny has an 11-game hitting streak. He's batting .426 during the streak, 20 hits and 47 at-bats. He is one player that tomorrow is not going to want to turn the calendar to July. He has had just an outstanding month. How about 15 multi-hit games in June? And it's outside ball 3.
Yeah, he was down throwing on before the game yesterday, throwing, getting loose and all that. And I said, "We have a birthday coming up, don't we?" He said, "Yeah, I think it's July 6th." I said, "I thought it was the 7th." And he said, "No, I can tell you it's the 6th."
And he thought he had ball 4, so he'll come back.
And I said, "So that means when you turn 23, that you become even a smarter hitter?"
It's experience, yes. It takes another, so the count full.
So the fly ball pitcher got back in the count at 88. Now, will they be able to make a good pitch or not? Yep.
Popped him up. Shallow right. There's Sin-Soo Choo, now moves in on it.
Yeah, there's a thing. If you throw enough fastballs, it's easier to locate it. So that's still 88. Didn't overthrow it. Got back into the count with a fastball. Not throwing 95. And then made pretty much a perfect pitch.
Colby Lewis out of Bakersfield, California. Born there, grew up there, still lives there. And he has certainly had a journey in his career, which began in Texas, and now he is back in Texas. And here's Jimmy Paredes. Jimmy takes a strike at the knees. Now Paredes comes into tonight's game batting at .321. But because he didn't play yesterday, he has fallen behind qualifying for the league leaders. Coming into tonight, he needed 236 plate appearances, and he has 234. Now, if he qualified, which tomorrow he certainly may, he would be 5th in the league in batting. But he is not listed because he does not qualify.
So he's well rested. He got a day off.
Yes, he did.
He's been getting on so often, maybe he needed it. That's how good he's been.
Pops him up left field. There's Josh Hamilton, tested in the first inning.
Yeah, we were and Hamilton coming off that hamstring injury, and he was out running. He got here, I guess, Sunday night, and didn't want him to play the same day. He really kind of got in. They doing some conditioning, trying to cut down the stride, maybe choppier stride. We'll see if that plays when he goes and actually chases balls. Probably a little bit easier when you're running the bases.
Two down for Adam Jones. Adam got a base hit last night, so he is 1 for 8 in the 2 games since his return to the lineup. But Showalter said prior to the game when he met with the media, he was asked about Adams' return, and he said what he thought was a good sign last night was the base hit to right field that drove in a run.
Well, he hit a bullet on a curveball. Monty Rodriguez really, he threw probably a little bit harder than expected, but 90. Used his curveball through, what, 40% of them. Well, we've already seen here Colby Lewis has gotten 2 red-hot hitters out, Machado and Paredes, and he hadn't thrown a ball over 88. So it's movement. It's, can you throw it? Can you relax? Can you keep it out of the middle of the plate? And he's done that to 2 hitters. Take a look at the defense for the Rangers. So Hamilton comes back. Martin in center. Chu made a nice play last night. Beltre Gold Glove winner 4 times. Andrews, Odor, Moreland coming off a 2 home run night. And then Chirinos will do the catching. Robinson behind the plate. Corcoran did a nice job last night. Not only that, he hit a home run.
Sharply hit the second. Odor, tough hop, bobbles, picks it up, throws off the bag, and Adam is safe.
Boy, he was so good last night. He's probably wondering, the tough play. Always talk about the 2-out shortstop. Everybody runs off the field. Well, Odor looked like a 2-out second baseman, but that time it comes up his arm, and then doesn't make a good throw.
His 5th error of the year, and for the Rangers, their 62nd error. They are 14th in the league in team fielding.
Well, luckily they have Oakland in the league.
And in their division.
Yes. Of course, Oakland started out the year 1-13 with 1-run ball games and not playing good defense, but slowly have become a much better ball club.
Well, that's a ball. If he charged, he probably would have gotten a better hop. Instead, the hop beat him up. Here's Davis, and he'll look at the strike.
Yeah, they always say that about shortstops. The third basemen can't pick their hops usually because you're so close to home. But that was, if there ever was a ball, you could actually play the hop. Now, the other part of it, though, of course, is that Adam Jones, everybody knows he runs every ball out. So there is a little bit of immediacy in there.
Now back Davis in the hole 0-2. So the in-between hop, and it got him right on the heel of the glove instead of in the webbing.
It really, it just looked like he missed it. It wasn't like he played it into a shortstop. It just came up a little bit more, and they gave you that whole glove, and he couldn't get the ball in it.
0-2 on Davis, who's hit 9 straight games. Curveball is high. Chris in his hitting streak, 11 for 33 with a couple of home runs, and he has 6 RBIs in the last 9 games.
Well, you hope the extra out will maybe give you some impetus. Only 1 run last night, and one swing you could double that. So we've seen curveballs, we've seen sliders, seen a fastball. Looks like Lewis is trying to, when he pitches well, there's his pitching coach Mike Maddox. He's able to cut the ball in on you. So if you're a lefty and you like the ball away, which is where Chris Davis's strength is, he's going to, in the cutter, you really kind of throw it like a normal fastball, but you hold it a little bit off on the side. So it almost comes out like a football, and it just slides a little bit.
2-2 to Davis upstairs, ball 3. So Chris was 0-2 after 2 pitches and now works in full. And this will give Adam Jones a head start at first base. Full count with 2 down. Matt Wieters on deck. And Moreland's going to back up with the left-handed batter up. There goes Adam, and the 3-2 is ripped but foul.
Hey, you look at Colby Lewis. This is his 6th start. The last 5 have all been quality starts. And if you wonder what the significance or sometimes the value of having a veteran when you lost a bunch of pitchers, we'll probably talk about it. We did it last night. Before the string of 5 consecutive, he pitched 2 2/3 innings, gave up 11 hits and 10 runs, and he turned the page. In the last 5 starts, all quality. So apparently he didn't take it to heart other than to get a little bit better, and he has.
And the 3-2 is swung on and hit the center field and deep. Martin back, that is up, and that ball is gone. There's a 2-run shot for Davis. The error crucial for the Rangers and the O's, and the Birds grab the lead.
And already on Bud Norris t-shirt night, you can hear something you didn't hear last night. The 4 home runs really took the crowd out of the game. So there's your extra out. There's a guy that doesn't throw hard, that tried everything, but eventually gave him a very hittable fastball, and he lost it into the center field bleachers.
Number 17 for Chris. He now has 47 RBIs, and here is Matt Wieters.
We'll take a look right here. I don't know, the target's down the way, but this ball ends up middle, outside middle, and he just launches it.
And the pitch down and in. The first angle on that replay, outstanding camera work. You could see his eyes following the ball to the point of contact on the barrel. So Chris with a 2-run home run as the Orioles take advantage of the error.
Yeah, good change up there. Well, back in 2012, May 10th, first game of a doubleheader, Colby Lewis, who never pitched well here, threw 5 home runs in the game, but struck out 12.
Wieters fouls it off. That'll be back in the crowd.
Yeah, we talked about being a fly ball pitcher. 112 coming in on the ground, 122 in the air. The home run, the outs, and only the error. Big mistake there. He shouldn't have thrown that grounder. Turned into an extra out, and the Orioles took advantage of it.
What it also has done here too is it's elevated his pitch count. It was 7 pitches in the Davis at bat, and he's now thrown 5 to Matt, so that's 12 extra pitches, and Davis making him pay with the home run. Matt's got a 2-game hitting streak going, 3 hits in 9 at bats, including a home run. This is his 17th game since coming off the disabled list.
A couple of 3 home runs, but one up in Fenway into the bullpen when Miguel Gonzalez pitched. Miguel's got to be pretty happy. He gets him behind the plate.
3-2 is chopped, and it's going to roll foul. So on the 7th pitch, and Wieters runs just in case. Chirino's hoping the backspin would take it fair. So the Orioles getting the home run. They're 93rd on the year. Of course, the home run has been so critical to their success this year. They are 34-16 when they hit a home run, but just 7-19 when they don't.
So I'm going to ask you a favor, and I know you're going to go home and you're going to study and you're going to do all your work because you're Jim Hunter. I want to know what the ERA is when they don't hit a home run.
Sharply hit to Odor. This one he plays the hop. and he'll get Wieters, and the inning ends. But a big inning for the Orioles. The error extends the inning, and then Chris Davis comes through, a 2-run home run, his 17th of the year, to the bleachers in center field, and the Orioles grab a 2-0 lead. On Adrian Beltre will lead off for Texas. Let's get a look at our Jeep inside the numbers. Well, you talk about a bird hunter. Since 2011, here are the numbers for Beltre against the Orioles. I hope Miguel didn't look at these.
Well, I'm sure he knows. And you got to adjust, and he has the ability to do that. If let's see what his numbers are against.
.395 batting average, second highest by any player since the 2011 season.
And of course, Miguel has not pitched against the Rangers. He missed last year on his way to a 10-9 record with the lowest ERA. 1 for 9 lifetime Beltre against Gonzalez. So while he's aware of those numbers, maybe to him it's okay. What had I done? Is he going to adjust? If he adjusts, I'll have to adjust.
Bouncer towards the hole. Hardy deep in the hole. Plants, throws, and got him.
Yeah, you know, he caught it right on his right foot. And Manny Machado has so much range, better than any third baseman in baseball. But watch him stay away from this ball. He was almost thinking about putting the glove out. JJ just catches it on his right foot, which is his plant foot. Now watch this. He catches it, plants the foot, and I mean, talk about strength and agility and the ability to really just set yourself. And it was all about just setting into the right side. That's kind of how you hit. That's how you pitch. And that's how he plays shortstop sometimes. And if he doesn't, you do it differently. It's a great angle. Probably they always talk about that. Probably the toughest play, which Mike Bordy could tell, as good as he was, could tell volumes about that. But
Josh Hamilton fouls it off. Well, Josh Hamilton off the DL for this game. He had a left hamstring strain. And he is back with Texas after leaving as a free agent, signing a 5-year deal with the Angels. Did not work out there, and they traded him back.
His best years with the Rangers. Great hitting ballpark. Of course, for him, he did hit 4 home runs here in one game. But tremendous power. Again, with the hamstring will probably restrain him, but for a big guy, really run well. So just stay away, stay away. The count now allows Miguel Gonzalez. You know, he made a mistake. Eduardo Rodriguez retired the first 10. Miguel gave up a run, and then the Orioles put 6 runs on the board, and then he threw a 3-run home run to Diaza.
Line drive, that's going to be a base hit. Sounded like he broke his bat, but he found an opening even with the shift on. So there's the first base hit against Miguel and a 1-out single. Our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Kathleen Hansford of Hagerstown, has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Play Baseball Bucks scratch-offs and win up to $50,000, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. One out single. Here is Mitch Moreland, who had himself a night last night.
And the Rangers have to be happy about that at bat. Fouled off balls away, and then Miguel made a good pitch up and in, and he fisted it into center. And if you're down by 2, you want to get this guy to the plate. One of their best hitters. I didn't realize, I've always thought he's a pretty good hitter. Of course, he had the elbow problems early on, ankle problems last year, but he's got 6 multi-home run games, and one of them was last night.
1-0 the count. And there it goes, and we're tied. Just like that. Out onto the flag court, almost at Boog's Barbecue. The pillar got in the way. So Moreland hit 2 home runs last night, a home run tonight, and it's a 2-2 game.
Well, he hit a slider last night, a changeup last night, and then right here is the fastball that I believe Miguel was trying to get in on him, but it never got there. And this is a long home run. I mean, this is blasted. Thought it was more in, but it was pretty much right down the middle, and that fan off the top of the wall almost made a great play. Unfortunately, he's about 420 feet away.
So his 13th home run ties the game. Here's Elvis Andrus, and coming into the game, most runs, percentage of runs allowed via the home run. Only Ian Kennedy of San Diego higher than Miguel, 65.6%. And you see at the bottom there, 5 starts without a home run, his ERA 0.56. So it's tough to rally on Miguel unless you can hit it out of the ballpark, as Moreland just did.
Well, that was my point. With the 6-1 lead, he threw a kind of a lazy slider to Diaz, hit it inside the pesky pole, and all of a sudden the whole game changed. Now, this is only a 2-run home run, but the multiple run home runs drive you crazy if you're pitching.
Andrews pops it up. Wieters is calling off Parmalee, and Matt has it for the out. 2 men down.
And that was my point about the Hamilton 0-2 pitch. He actually singled on a pretty good pitch, and all he did was get a guy that's red hot. Moreland had a couple of home runs to the plate, and in one swing you're tied. That's what good offense is. The Orioles do it all the time. The Rangers certainly did it last night, even though the first the 4 runs were on the solo home runs. But they got a lot of hits last night early on, even if nobody was on when the home runs were hit.
Well, they had base runners in all 9 innings last night, and they've started off tonight with base runners in each of the first 2. Here's Martin, the number 8 batter. Miguel gets ahead, off-speed pitch for a strike.
Yeah, he's really been struggling, and 3 for his last 43. He was down in the hitting cage, kind of behind the Oriole locker room, working with Dave Magadan.
Martin, 27 years out of Cuba. He's in the final year of the deal he signed with the Rangers. Swing and a miss there. It was a 5-year deal as he made his way to the big leagues.
Well, he can steal bases, and he's a good defender. Whereas for those things to come into play with Delino DeShields Jr. a rehab and an impact player, needs to get some base hits. Otherwise, he doesn't become expendable, but he just won't get the playing time he's getting now, especially if Hamilton stays healthy.
And for the Rangers, they'd hate to see that happen because of his defense. And a swing and a miss looked like a splitter, and Miguel is out of it. But the home run by Moreland ties the game. Mid-second at Camden Yards, 2-2 game. 2015 Birdland Summer 6-pack. Choose any 6 remaining games for the remainder of the season, and you'll enjoy savings of up to 20% off the cost of single game tickets. You could build the perfect plan, either great rivalry games or popular promotions, maybe t-shirt nights, fireworks night, whatever you prefer. For all the details, visit Orioles.com/6-pack or call 888-848-BIRD. Here is Chris Parmelee leading off for the O's. Hardy and Snider will follow. So each team with a 2-run home run.
Yeah, Texas got to be pretty pleased in the last. Going, those are last year numbers. They had what? The last 6 games, it scored 12 runs. A little different team. That ball ripped, little cutter that he smacks. And then when Texas was up in Toronto over the weekend, only 8 runs in 3 games. So they come in, they score 8 last night. They hit 4 home runs. Tommy Hunter had been pitching well. They get 3 runs off him, and then a 2-run shot today. So get the bats out, boys.
Well, Parmelee doing a real good job. But Showalter was talking before the game about sometimes you just need a fresh start.
Yeah, you need a fresh start. You need to get pitches that are hit. He's a terrific low ball hitter. I'm not sure he was real happy about that changeup that was outside called, but until you get to 2 strikes, if you know your strength and it's down, try not to chase the ball up. It looks so good to hit, very enticing. And that's another thing we've seen. I mean, hits this ball pretty well. If you go back to the first game in Boston, he tripled down the right field line. He doubled down the left field line in the same game. When Rodriguez had the no-hitter going on the last day, the day game, when the Orioles were trying to win the series, he broke it up with a double to left center. So when you get down in that area, in the count 3-2, so Lewis doesn't want to walk him. As we told you, he doesn't walk a whole lot of guys, under 2 per 9 innings. So right here, just if the ball's above the belt, take it and hope that Welke doesn't call it. Maybe you're going to chase a little bit more with 2 strikes.
And the 3-2 is hit towards center field. There's a base hit for Parmelee, who stays high. So he is on with the leadoff single. Obi Lewis, he has some history against the Orioles.
Well, that's what I talked about at first game of a doubleheader, and the Orioles only win 6-5. He throws 5 home runs, 4 of them solos, and a 2-runner in there, and still stays in the game. So that's 2012. Some somewhat familiar names.
Well, Wilson Betemit had a good start to his O's career, but unfortunately then the injuries got to him as Hardy takes a strike.
Yeah, he had that horrific knee in spring training, running between first and second.
Now, Parmelee on at first. Buck Showalter said he reported to spring training this year in the best shape of his career as Hardy lifts it to right field. Chu has a beat on it and has it for the out. So hit well, but right at Sin-Soo Choo.
Yeah, Lewis is not a strikeout guy, so you better be on your toes. He does throw a lot of strikes, so easy if you hit him. Easy to play behind. Season high of what, 8 strikeouts. 5, 6, 7, 3 the last 2 games, and or last 4 games, and then 4 before that, all quality starts. So he pitches to contact.
Here's Travis Snider, who has been hot. But Showalter has been trying to get as many players as much regular work as he can, but unfortunately the way the roster is set now, most of the players played the same positions. So as he did in this series so far, last night it was the right-handers playing, and tonight the left-handers are in there, and Snider has benefited from the playing time.
You see a couple of home runs, one in Philadelphia, a bomb, and then curveball the other day off Murata, the Japanese starting pitcher they brought up for the second game of the doubleheader. Split doubleheader on Sunday when the Indians were in.
Slowly hit to second. There's Odor, goes to Andrews for 1, back to first, is not in time. Slowly hit. They do get the lead runner and 2 men down.
And Lewis gets him to roll over on a pitcher's pitch. 2-0. And here's the attempted double play.
Nice slide by Palmer.
Yeah. And then Travis, of course, he pulls the ball so he gets out of the box a little bit better. Yeah, that was a pitch that you probably wanted to swing at if it was 2 strikes, because it was close enough to be in a ball to maybe be in strike 3. But 2-0, pitcher's pitch, chased it.
Ryan Flaherty now, number 9 batter, and he'll take down and in. Ryan has 4 hits and 3 RBIs on the homestand. He has done just a tremendous job, playing every day for the Birds at second base. Really, the difference in the team, especially in the infield, has been since J.J. Hardy came back, because it solidifies everything. J.J. and Manny on the left side, they're going to be there every day, and that's allowed Ryan to settle in at second base. A lot of movement down on that pitch.
Well, there's a changeup. We mentioned 4-pitch pitcher. Not going to throw it by you, but he can certainly. I mean, he may throw one at 88, one at 86, one at 83. Curveballs in the 70s. You can see a nice June for.
Swing and a miss. He got him. May have been a foul tip held on by Chirinos. So base hit, 1 left. We're through 2 in a tie game. Home record in a month, minimum 10 games going back to 1954. Wow, some outstanding months on teams Mr. Palmer was a part of. 13-1 in September of 1970. That's the best. June of 2015, 10-2 at home. So this team, this June, that makes the list, but just outstanding consistency and a good night for cotton candy.
Well, those were years where the Orioles record was like last year, 96 or even more. 70 was what, 108 wins. The year before, 109. 4 20-game winners the next year, 101. And then the rest of those years in the mid-90s.
There's a base hit for Chirinos leading off here in the 3rd. So Texas continues its assault. Base runners in all 12 at-bats, inning at-bats in this series. Tomorrow, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over at the 7:05 game against Texas will receive the Orange O's tote bag presented by MLB Network. Enjoy a great summer night out with family and friends at Oriole Park. Good seats do remain. For tickets, visit Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. 3rd hit off Miguel Gonzalez. Here's ROUGNED ODOR, who drew a 4-pitch walk leading off the game.
Well, he's 7 for his last 12, and it does kind of set up the inning because it opens up holes. And we saw last night he can pull the ball. And tonight he's seen 5 straight balls. So he's up there. He would love to look for a ball inside middle. And when Miguel's pitching at his best, the splitter, and I mean, it gets you out in front. It's hard to just look for a ball and you know you're going to get a fastball and you can go out and pull it into right.
Ball 2, he's seen 6 pitches. They've all been out of the strike zone.
It's not very Miguel Gonzalez-like that the ball, especially the lefties, out of his hands, a ball. And really all 6 pitches to Odor have been. I mean, there hasn't been one that's actually started in the strike zone. And that's very unusual for him. And that's Matt Wieters' effect right there. Not getting the fastball over, throw him a little slider. A little different release point. The other one's not working. Of course, Tillman on Sunday, talking to him yesterday, he said, I had to go to the 2-seamer because nothing else was working, but made the adjustment. And there's the high strike. See, that's a young hitter thinking, boy, I ducked strike 2. And you can see it's affecting him, obviously. I thought I got ball 3, and we know Milwaukee's got a pretty big strike zone. Or you'll see him all spring in Sarasota.
Bouncer knocked down by Miguel, and that's going to cost him. Nice save there by Parmelee. He lets that go by. That's a double play. Hardy was right there, but the instincts of the pitcher, he stuck out the glove and he couldn't glove it.
Well, you can catch it. I mean, it's pretty routine right here. Just catch it. And if not, as you mentioned, let it go by. And it is hard to get a read sometimes, so you think you can catch balls, and obviously he couldn't because he had to reach back. But you're right. And as we mentioned, it's like doing TV commercials where you flub the lines. You can't do takeovers. Take 2, take 3, whatever it might be. Because he made a good pitch.
So 2 on with nobody out, and here is Chu. Inside corner called strike. Chu flied out to left field, his first at bat. He's enjoying health this year. Last year he had an ankle problem for a lot of the year, and then his season ended with a bone spur in his elbow.
Well, they gave him the $130 million all the way to 2020, backloaded, because he can run, he can throw. You know, he had Tommy John surgery years ago, again for power, great on base percentage. He was a multifaceted player, and then he gets hurt.
Miguel's ahead 0-2, 2 on and none out. Check swing and a breaking ball appeal to third. He did not go.
Well, and I think Miguel probably wanted that pitch. It was a slider down and in, really good one. Didn't swing at it.
Well, that's outstanding back control there to keep that back. 1-2 on Chu. He'll turn 33 in a couple of weeks.
There's another one. You know, last night, if you're Miguel and you watch the at-bats he had against Bud Norris, Bud around 94, 95 all night long. He hit the 95-mile-per-hour fastball into left field for a single, struck him out the next time, and then threw one in the middle of the plate, but less velocity, and hit about a 420-foot home run. So he had a nice little night.
So from 0-2 to a full count. Let's see if Jeff Bannister puts the runners in motion here. The catcher is the lead runner.
Well, that's how you get triple plays. I remember talking to Jim Fregosi, and I said, when do you know to start the runners? He said, well, I know not to start them ever since I started them with runners at first and second, and the line drive was caught by the second baseman for a triple play.
They do not go, and it's low, ball 4. Slider.
Well, there's 4 straight balls, and they were all pretty close, but not close enough.
So the base hit off the glove is Miguel now in a jam as he follows that with a walk. The walks have hurt the Orioles on the year, as they do most teams. Here's the highest percentage of walks coming around the score. Texas, just under 28% of their walks have scored, and the Orioles just over 27%. So Texas the third most, and the Orioles the fourth most. And here's the dangerous Prince Fielder up.
Now, is that by the pitching staff?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's the problem. You've kind of worked your way into a bases loaded situation with a guy hitting .424 with runners in scoring position. So what you'll do is you'll try to minimize if you can. Double play ball the first time, 4 to 6 to 3. Certainly take that now. Give them a run, but not a bunch.
And it's low, 1-0. So Miguel really uncharacteristic with the command early on here. Outfield straight away on him. Adam a tad shallow. He likes to go back on balls. And the infield is back all around. Double play depth.
Well, you got what, the 6-man bullpen? That's the one thing about Bud Norris last night. He was able to pitch deep enough, so you kind of saved him a little bit. But normally you have a 7-man staff. Again, as you mentioned, some of the multitude of extra players on the bench, 5 of them.
Big pitch here, 2-0. And a swing and a miss. So he must have been looking fastball.
Well, yeah, I don't think it really would have mattered. Well, I mean, this is what pitching's all about. No way that if you're Prince Fielder, you think he's going to throw a splitter. And he does. And not only did he throw it, it was perfect. And the one you wanted to be grounded into a double play. Hopefully he gets him back into the count.
And the 2-1 is outside, ball 3.
I mean, that's really been, so ever since Odor led off, it's just he doesn't have the release point on his fastball. So your intention is to throw it for the outside quarter of the plate, and it's just running off the plate for a ball.
Nowhere to put him. 3-1 the count. Towards the middle and a base hit for Fielder. 1 run will score. The throw to second base by Adam Jones. The runner at second base, Odor, had to hold to make sure that would get by Hardy. So for the moment that benefits the Orioles, but 3 hits and a walk, and Texas has the lead.
Yeah, a lot of pitches up. Dave Wallace, the Oriole pitching coach, got to throw a strike, and boy, you hate to have to do this to a guy. Look how many centers. That's the left-handed version of Delman Young. And we saw Fielder do it last night. I mean, using the whole field, more multi-hit games than anybody in Major League Baseball.
So for Fielder, that is RBI number 49. He's hit .384 on the year against right-handed pitching, 1 for 2 in this game. And still nobody out.
Yeah, the only good news is even though Beltry came in at .395 against the Orioles, now 1 for 10 against Miguel Gonzalez. But that usually means when he's on his game, and tonight things are a little bit off. Command problems.
Inside nearly hit him. And the Rangers certainly don't mind taking one for the team.
And you look at, so what, this is maybe 12, 13 batters in, and it's only 2 walks, but you can be wild in the strike zone, and that can get you in a lot of trouble when the club is swinging the bat well. A perfect example, he didn't walk Fielder, but he got behind him 3-1, had to throw him a strike, and he was waiting.
The bases loaded, nobody down, and 1-0 on Beltray. Way outside, ball 2.
So he's throwing all the right pitches, he just can't command them.
And again, another big pitch here, 2-0 with the bases loaded. There's a strike.
You know, you get at points sometimes, Jim, when you're out there and you're struggling with your control and your command, that you just have to really always, you know, that baseball vernacular, trust your stuff. I mean, sometimes it's, I can't keep making these pitches getting behind him. I'm just going to throw it for the middle of the plate and probably won't go there like that.
You're going to miss 2-2.
I mean, that's a splitter. When you're behind 2-1, you have to just trust that if you throw it right, it's going to go down. Watch this ball drop. A big swing. Beltre's looking at something else. And that's a pitch that hopefully gets Miguel back into the count, because he's trying to minimize. I mean, even another run, they're looking for the huge inning. Bases loaded, already one in. The Moreland home run. Hamilton on deck and Moreland in the hole. So they're saying maybe we can win this game right here. And Miguel's saying, nah. Going to try to minimize.
Slight delay there. Prince Fielder requested time. His shoelace became untied on his cleat. 2-2 after falling behind 2-0 on Beltre. Line foul, back out of play. Such a vicious cut. He lost the bat.
Well, he had the sprained left thumb, so he had the donut. Took that off. And last night had a shield on that hand to help it stabilize it.
And the 2-2 swung on and grounded to short. Hardy second out there, back to first. There's a double play. A run does score, but Miguel gets 2 outs on 1 swing. So it is a 4-2 Texas lead, but now 2 men are down.
Yeah, sometimes you don't like to give up runs, but this is what you're looking for. You get yourself in trouble, you're not making your pitches, then you make one. And that 2-1 splitter set up the whole count, because Beltre didn't know what's coming. Second time up. So he's now 1 for what? 1 for 11. So if you look at the scoreboard, you go, well, they still got a run, but that's huge.
Now here's Josh Hamilton, who got the rally going in the second with a 1-out single. And again, missing outside to fall behind. Chu is at third, you just saw. Hamilton now 34 years old. Broken bat bouncer to first. Parmalee waits on it. He'll take himself to the bag, and that will end the inning. Now, it could have been worse. A run in, bases loaded, none down. They get just one more. Mid-third, 4-2 Texas. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by visitannapolis.org. Find the Chesapeake experience at visitannapolis.org. Nice crowd on hand here tonight on the Bud Norris t-shirt giveaway night. Orioles took a 2-0 lead in the first. Texas has come back with 2 in the second, 2 in the third for a 4-2 lead. Manny Machado will lead off as the lineup turns over. Jimmy Paredes and Adam Jones will follow. And Colby Lewis misses outside, 1-0.
Yeah, best run support of any active pitcher. It looks like they must have read the stat. They're getting it again. And not only, I mean, Colby Lewis, Cologne, Derek Holland on the disabled list with shoulder discomfort plays for the Rangers. Then Phil Hughes.
Manny just a bit out in front of that hanger.
And then Hughes with the Twins. Orioles will be there week after this. Chicago for the weekend, and then
Minnesota.
3 in Minneapolis, where they're playing very well at home.
Center field off the end of the bat. There's Martin. And he's got it. Manny's retired. He is 0 for 2 and 1 away. But you talk about that run support, and you look at Lewis and his season. He's made 15 starts. In 3 different starts, the Rangers scored 11 runs for him 3 different times. So that is 33 runs of support in 3 starts. In the other 12 starts, they scored a total of 40 runs. That is amazing. 33 runs in 3 starts and 40
so he gave you
in 12.
that stat, what, 5.76 this year. He's almost at 7.
Right.
6.96 runs per game.
Paredes can't catch up to the high fastball.
See, and that was a ball, and he's a not that, and I know I don't want anybody at home to think that this is disrespectful. Some guys are comfortable, you know, where they're around the plate. They don't throw 95. They don't. Little chin music. He moves the ball around. He changes speeds in and out, up and down, changeups, cutters, fastballs. He's a comfortable guy, and that's why he gets you in the swing mode. Manny had a great pitch to hit, popped it up both times. I mean, there's like a little slider cutter or whatever. So you know he's, you know, can get you out. I mean, this is what pitching's all about: adding, subtracting, up and down. I mean, right there, just fastball count, throw something with a little spin. Wasn't a great slider, but it fooled Jimmy Paredes.
2-2, 1 out, nobody on. Colby Lewis was a first-round pick of the Rangers back in 1999. And Paredes down on strikes, so Jimmy's 0 for 2 and 2 quick outs.
Yeah, so there's the addition. Hardest fastball at 89. Slurs, whatever, you name it. Out of the zone for strike 1, and then just a little extra. And can't quite catch up to it. Just up enough out of the strike zone. That ball down maybe 4 or 5 inches, hittable, but he didn't throw it there.
Adam Jones reached on an error in the first inning. Line drive and a base hit into left field. Sounded like he broke his bat, but that's fine with Adam as he is out with a 2-out single. So Adam is out. O's fans never miss a game update, behind the scenes moment, or exclusive contests. Just follow @MASSANORIOLS on Twitter for all the latest Orioles buzz. Again, that's @MASSANORIOLS on Twitter.
So either way, error the first time or base hit here, he gets Chris Davis. The last time the go-ahead run at the plate and at first base, and now the tying run.
And Chris won Kathleen Hansford of Hagerstown, a Maryland lottery contestant, an additional $500 with that home run. As Adam has Chirinos throw behind him and gets back in. That's just what he wanted to do, dive back in.
And then never could quite. And you can see the pitch number 7 in the middle of the plate, never could get it inside enough.
High fly ball, right center field. Did he get another one? Martinez back at the wall. It is gone for Davis. And just like that, we're tied. It is Texas 4, Chris Davis 4. So Kathleen Hansford of Hagerstown Now $1,500 night as Chris Davis has delivered 2 home runs.
Yeah, a couple of big flies.
Matt Wieters gets into one. That ball's going back. That ball is deep, and that ball is caught on the warning track. Just missed a home run, and the Orioles just missed back-to-back. But Chris Davis hits one out. He's got 2 on the night. Now has 18 on the year. This 2-run shot ties the game. We'll head to the 4th. Brand new game tied at 4. Manager of the Phillies for the remainder of the year. Now Andy McPhail is in charge of that organization, so he's going to sit back and observe and decide what direction to go. Sonny Gray of Oakland scratched from tonight's start in illness, and he must be ill because he ranks first in the American League in ERA at 2.09, well-hit average of 0.78, and second in OPS at 5.33. And the Yankees GM CC not likely leaving the rotation. We're going to continue to give him every opportunity to work through this. Of course, that's Brian Cashman. Sabathia 3-8 with a 5.59 ERA. So it looks as if with all the money they're paying him and his track record for the moment, he stays in the rotation.
Yeah, watch some of the Angel Yankee game out in Anaheim. He ended up losing 4-1. So one of those games where you don't score a lot of runs for him. Home runs by Cron and Mike Trout, who made Mike Trout night. Just pretty much Mike Trout every night wherever he plays. A couple of great catches, the home run, but maybe 90 on a couple of pitches, 89. So it's not the old CC.
Hard hit ball right to Parmelee. Now there's a charity hop, and Parmelee goes to the bag. So one away here in the Texas 4th. Mark your calendars. Friday, July the 10th, a fan favorite back at Oriole Park. The first 20,000 fans 21 and over at that game against the Nationals will receive the Orioles plaid floppy hat presented by Miller Lite. Add to your Birdland summer wardrobe with this instant fan collectible. Tickets are going fast, so to get your tickets either way, get online Orioles.com or call 888-848-BIRD. Chris Davis having himself a night. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs.
Yeah, 58. That's the 59th pitch. And for Miguel Gonzalez, you know, it's been a little struggle. That's 35 balls in the strike zone, 25 not. So pitch number 16. He's usually almost 2-to-1 strikes to balls. So hopefully having a less. Innings are never easy. Some are less difficult than others. So he wants to have a less difficult inning.
That's a great way to describe it. Hard hit ball towards the hole and just under the glove of Hart.
Yeah, better hustle though, because he's going to think double. Snider gets to it easy. See, everything up tonight, and that's causing the problems. You know, the balls. Set of strike one, it's ball one, and then I mean, look at that. You can see just that ball, belt high, little splitter that stayed up. Andrews hits it hard, and then Heads-up play by Travis Snyder, understanding the speed that Elvis Andrus has.
Here is Martin, who struck out his first at bat. And there's a strike.
Good speed, 9 out of 13 when it comes to stealing bases. Like I said, they just don't run on Miguel.
Double play ball. Flaherty, Hardy, Parmelee, inning over. That is the third double play turned in this game by the Orioles. Miguel gets out of it mid-4th. O's come to bat in a tie game. Offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit us in-store or online at mile1.com. Well, tomorrow night and Thursday night, 2 more games at 7 on MASN 2 against Texas. That'll close out the homestand. And then the Orioles head out for the final road trip before the All-Star break, a 3-game holiday weekend series in Chicago. Night game on Friday, day game on Saturday on the 4th of July, and a day game on Sunday. Saturday also on WJZ. As Parmelee fouls it off his foot. Hardy and Snyder will follow.
So let's see, 4th of July in Chicago.
Day game.
Day game. A lot of
restaurants for you to visit at night.
Getting home. We were they have what they call the taste. Have you ever been in Chicago when the Orioles were there? They have the taste of Chicago.
Parmelee got a pitch to drive, and he was way out in front of it.
A little cutter inside, maybe a slider. So it's a loud foul, and the only reason that he hits it where he is because it's off the plate in. Yeah, but it's a million people downtown Chicago and along the Lake Michigan. Very festive.
So Chicago is your kind of town.
New York.
No, it was Sinatra.
Yeah, well, it's Sinatra, but I think maybe he's talking about Chicago. I don't know.
Yes. Let's get a look at our PNC minor league report. And how about Logan Utsa at Delmarva? You talk about having a game. Now, Delmarva played a doubleheader yesterday in the nightcap. He went 2 for 3. He had a triple. He had a home run. He drove in 7. And the home run was a walk-off grand slam in the bottom of the 7th, career high and single game high for the Shorebirds. He is the 3rd player in Shorebirds history to have a 7 RBI game as J.J. Hardy singles up the middle. So congratulations to Logan Utsa. A 7 RBI night with a walk-off grand slam. Ryan Miner must be thrilled.
Yeah, well, it comes from a great baseball town. Grew up, resides in St. Louis.
Now, Brian Bass, he was at one time an Orioles top infield prospect. He had a 7 RBI game in 2004, and then Jason Franz in 2005, and that record is held since then, and now Uxa ties it. Signed as a minor league free agent in January. More inventory, more depth, more balance.
More RBIs.
Yes. He keeps hitting like that, he'll be at Frederick before you know it. There's SNIDER takes a strike. Ryan Graham likes to move guys around and challenge them. You know, if you're doing well at a level, let's see what you can do at the next level. It's a real good approach.
If you're any good, it usually forces you to get better or make the adjustments you need to do.
SNIDER fouls it back. He's down in the count 0-2. Travis bounced into a force play his first at bat.
Yeah, it's almost like Lewis, who made a great 2-0 pitch the last time. Now it's 0-2. Trying to pitch him down in the zone.
Lively crowd here tonight. 0-2 on SNIDER. High fly ball to right. Shoe went back. Now he'll move in. As he misread the swing, and he gets in and hauls in for the out for the second out. So back to first goes JJ. On Sunday, July 12th, when the Orioles take on the Nats, the finale of that 3-game series at 1:35, the first 20,000 fans 15 and over will receive an Orioles Hawaiian shirt. So make your summer even hotter by adding this island favorite to your Birdland game day wardrobe. Good seats remain for that Sunday afternoon Battle of the Beltways. So get your tickets 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. That has Jim Palmer written all over it. The Orioles Hawaiian shirt.
Fred Manfred wears those all the time, doesn't he?
Now, when we're in Texas, whenever that is, and it's always 104 degrees, you can wear that Hawaiian shirt.
It's the end of August.
Ryan struck out his first at bat, one of 2 strikeouts for Colby Lewis.
28th of August, Friday night. I'm going to pack tonight when I get home. The Hawaiian shirt.
Hard at ball right at ROUGNED ODOR. He gobbles it up, throws out FLAHERTY, and that'll end it. So 1 out single and a man left. We're through 4. We'll head to the 5th, tied at 4.
Top of the world and I can't come down. No, I can't come down. This is how it feels to stand on the clouds. The place is here, the time is down. On top of the world and I can't come down. No, I can't come down. This is how it feels to stand on the clouds.
Well, what a night early on here through 4. Chris Davis with a pair of 2-run home runs. Mitch Moreland has a 2-run home run for Texas. And Chirinos will fake a bunt and take a strike. And Miguel, as Jim mentioned, it was bases loaded, nobody out, then a run scored. Bases loaded, 1 out, a run in, and Texas got just 1 more run in that inning. Could have been much worse, but as a result, the Orioles are back even, and we're tied at 4.
Yeah, the more you see this game, you realize from game to game, run support. I mean, this juncture last night, Bud Norris had thrown 4 home runs, and everybody's going, boy, he's pitching horribly. And yet tonight, Gonzalez gives up the same amount of runs, yet the Orioles score 4, and you go, geez, we got a chance to win. Right. So run support when you pitch. And it just allows you, as it turned out, Bud would give up 9 hits in 6 innings and 5 runs. But he would take some pressure off the bullpen. It's one of those nights where he's really, he had the somewhat easy inning in the 4th.
8 pitches, 3 batters.
But Andrus, he left one up to him. He got a single, and then he got the double play ball, third, as you mentioned, of the night. But just not the kind of command we usually see from Miguel. There's a good pitch. I mean, usually the ability to change speeds and stay out of the middle of the plate, 89 to 93. We've seen 93 tonight. He just hasn't commanded it like the norm.
3-2 on Chirinos leading off here in the Texas 5th. Odor and Chu will follow. Chirinos, 31, out of Venezuela. He originally signed with the Cubs, and he was part of that big trade between Chicago and Tampa Bay when Garza went to Chicago, and Chirinos and a fellow named Chris Archer went to Tampa Bay. And that ball is crushed. Back it goes, and that's going to go, and Texas has the lead back.
Now you get the count to 3-2, and then you hang a slider. Hit 13 home runs. You talked about going to Tampa Bay. He missed that whole year with a concussion. And we're going, okay, I never really got to see him play. But you can tell right now, it's not a very sharp Miguel Gonzalez when he makes a mistake. Watch this slider hang. Boy, it's just so hittable. And he says, thank you so much. Well, trying to get it down, doesn't. And there's your result. And then the toss. Watch the rotator. Pretty good toss.
So another home run. So 3 of the 5 runs have come in on long balls off Miguel, and Texas has the lead right back. So again, their streak in the series continues now. 14 at bats, and they have had base runners in all 14. Not one 3 up 3 down inning yet for Oriole pitching. Odor has been on base twice. He has walked, and he had really the big at bat in the 3rd inning. It was a ball with Chirinos on at first and nobody down, a bouncer that Miguel couldn't field, and it went off his glove and fell for an infield hit. Had he gloved or had he let it go by to Hardy, it might have been a double play, but instead it was 2 on and none out, and Texas was on its way. Skied to left, not that deep. Hardy's out, Snider in, and Snider calls. And there's the first out of the Texas 5th.
Yeah, the Rangers a little bit like the Orioles, where they get Hamilton back. As you mentioned, didn't work out. We don't have time to talk about all the stuff that went on out in California, and so he comes there. I mean, that's like getting an impact player if he stays healthy. Beltry goes on the DL. He comes back. And they're waiting for a number of their other players. And probably when the Orioles get down there in August, if the rehabs on Delino DeSheets Jr. and Matt Harrison and Martin Perez, that'd be a whole totally different look. And yet they're still in the pennant race.
Waved at that one, 0-2. Chu has flied out and he has walked. Left center field. That ball has some carry. Snider back on it at the wall, and that ball is gone. A 3rd home run hit by Texas, 2nd this inning, and it is 6-4 Rangers.
He hit one last night to right center, and he almost homered. So the humidity up, the temperature's up. And it's pretty good hitting. Look where the glove is, look where the ball is. Now, except it's not on the corner. It's outside middle, and he just hits a fly ball. I mean, welcome to Camden Yards.
And Brad Brock now getting loose in the 5th. Now, this is the 4th time in 14 starts Miguel has allowed multiple home runs in his start. And it's the 2nd time as Fielder swings through it he has allowed 3 home runs in a game. So Chu homered last night. He homered again tonight. Miguel allowed 3 home runs in a loss in Houston June 3rd. All 3 of those home runs were solos.
Yeah, Springer hit one and Carter hit a couple. Chris Carter hit 2 home runs. Yeah, but the stuff's not sharp. And 0-2, up and out over the plate. Usually, if you're going to go away, you usually come in. But you know, the command issues. Maybe afraid to come way in, hit him, try to make a pitch, didn't make it. So many pitches are ball out of his hand. You just don't see that. On the other side of it, talked about the umpiring last night. None of the calls by John Hirschbeck had anything to do with the 8 runs that they got. Now, it might have helped kind of put the kibosh on some of the Orioles rallies or trying to get back into the game, but they earn their runs, and they're earning them tonight. He doesn't make a play, and pretty routine double play, or your shortstop makes it. So this is the Rangers of May when they averaged over 5 runs a game for the month. So it's a ton of runs.
3-1 on Fielder, who was 1 out of 2. High called strike. Maybe Miguel got one there.
Now, I saw their hitting instructor, Dave McAdoo, and of course they get 4 home runs last night. I said, they're finally listening to you again, aren't they? Just kind of laughed. I remember when he was a pretty good player for the Mets. And then with the Red Sox as their hitting instructor.
Off the end of the bat, long run for Snider, still coming on, and he's not going to get there, and it just fouled. That's a break for the Orioles.
Yeah, talking to Prince yesterday about the neck surgery he had to have, and I said, boy, you watch the highlights, you use every inch of the field, and you almost use the left field foul line.
Prince comes back. He's about to see the 7th pitch in this at bat. Miguel's up to 81 pitches now. Vicious cut and foul back in the screen.
I remember a story, and of course, you know, when he's healthy, which he wasn't last year, had to have the neck fusion. I remember a story when I guess he was growing up, and he went with his dad to a youth baseball game, and he said, boy, I don't really feel well today. He said, no, the fielders play every day. And he's a big guy. I mean, when he was healthy, whether he was with the Tigers or Milwaukee, you could pencil his name in the lineup. Lefty, righty, didn't matter. No days off against the tough left-handers.
Well, Prince was Milwaukee's 1st round pick in 2002. He was the 7th overall. 6 seasons in Milwaukee, and then went to Detroit, signed a big contract with the Tigers for 2012, 2 seasons there, and then traded to Texas. It was a 9-year, $214 million contract. And it stays alive on the slow breaking ball.
And it turned out to be a good deal because Ian Kinsler went the other way. And I would assume that maybe the Tigers played some of the salary. Sure, that was in there.
Yeah, they're paying $24 million of the remaining total, which basically is 1 year of salary.
So you get an impact player. You pay a lot of money for him, but when he's healthy.
And he draws a walk. So 10 pitch at bat, and here comes Buck, and that's going to be it for Miguel, who just didn't have it tonight. So Miguel will go 4 1/3, and he exits with a runner on, and 6 runs already on the board. So Miguel leaves, Brad Brock comes on. Texas with the lead in the 5th.
Again, the more walks. What, 3 out of the last 4 games hadn't walked anybody, but the command off from really the leadoff batter ODOR who walked, and they knock him around. Brad Brock comes in, and it's now time for a little relief for your car too. Visit Jiffy Lube for regular oil changes and help prevent damage and wear to your engine. Jiffy Lube, drive in today. So Orioles hoping that Brock can do what the bullpen did for Texas last night. They came in and 1 for 12, and just kind of hold it there, get out of this inning. And the Orioles, of course, already with a couple of home runs by Chris Davis, having a good offensive night, get back up to home plate with the bats in their hands.
Adrian Beltre takes a breaking ball outside. Beltre ground out to short and bounced into a double play with the bases loaded. No RBI, but a run did score. 7 of 13 inherited runners stranded. He's got 1 at first.
Oh.
That ball's ripped down the line, and it is fading back foul.
Wow.
1-1 the count on Beltre. Brad Brock last worked on Friday. He's got back-to-back scoreless appearances after he allowed 2 runs in that wild Sunday game in Toronto. 1-1 on Beltre with Fielder at first. Nice pick there by Wieters. Now, Texas in the game last night had 14 base hits and scored 8 runs. Tonight they have 6 runs on 8 base hits.
So 7 home runs now. And we're halfway through this one.
Outside, ball 3.
Well, you got to remember Brad Brock, when he gets a little fast, boy, he starts spinning. And that's, you can tell that the slider's flat, fastball's flat, velocity goes down. Usually can be 90 up to 95. Pitches tonight 93. That looked like a little bit more on it. So again, you just have to, if you come flying down the, you push off and you spin, it's just hard to stay behind your pitches, and they flatten out. And Beltre's not a guy you want to do that to. And you could saw at 93 he turned on that fastball.
Josh Hamilton waiting on deck.
Just look at the presence though now with Hamilton and Beltre and Fielder
and a double play ball. There's Hardy, there's Flaherty, and back to first for a double play. So Beltre has bounced out 3 times, 2 double plays. That ends the inning. Our Mazda do-ups coming up for the O's. It'll be Machado, Paredes, and Jones. Machado and Paredes 0 for 4 combined, but Adam Jones has been on base twice. He scored a couple of runs and has a single. Manny trying to extend that hitting streak. to 12 in a row. There's Colby Lewis, 69 pitches. The Orioles have not gone in order in this game. In fact, they have at least one hit in each game. Manny showed bunt and pulls the bat back. Yesterday in batting practice, Manny and Adam have been in the same hitting group. And they were both practicing their bunts, and they made it a competition, which was really interesting to see who could lay down the better bunt softly down third and make it stay on the grass. And both can utilize. See, you just saw Adam gesture there. Look, bunt, bunt. Hoping to get Beltre's attention as well. This ball's hit to right field, chasing Chuback. That ball is deep, and that ball is gone. Machado goes the opposite way, and it's a one-run game. The Orioles have now homered 3 times.
Well, just go back to 2012. Colby Lewis threw 5 of them. Kind of ballpark when it heats up and your stuff's not good and balls are up. Easy to throw home runs, especially when you got good hitting teams, and both the Rangers and the Orioles are doing a great job of hitting the pitches that are hittable.
And another $500 for Kathleen Hansford of Hagerstown, our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game. And here is Paredes. High fly ball to center field. Easy play for Martin. And one away here in the Oriole 5th. For Manny, number 16.
Well, we've seen him do this. And then again, it's just something in the middle of the plate. Fell high, not a lot of velocity. And then the ability, we've seen it. We saw it early on, a couple of years ago when he had the 51 doubles, using the whole field. He's slicing the right field with the best of them. Now he's bigger, stronger, healthier.
Well, that's a good point, and that's in large part you could say why he's been so good. He is using the whole field. He is by far a predictable hitter right now. You throw it out there, he's going to hit it out there.
Well, that's what it makes it tough. It just makes it harder to get guys out. And, you know, the guys that try to pull balls, or they have holes and loop. I mean, he starts with his hands high. He's the best high ball hitter on the ball club. You can get him out, down, and away, but then again, most of the guys, probably even got Hank Aaron out a few times down and away. And you have to really make quality pitches.
You did, or just in general?
No, I'm just talking in general. What I'm saying is that's what you have to do. You have to make great pitches against great hitters. And Manny's on his way into that category.
Well, he's now got a 12-game hitting streak, 3 home runs and 11 RBIs during the streak. So can he get another hit and close out June with a 16th multi-hit game this month? 96 miles an hour, as that one got airborne and really carried out of here.
Wow.
Rip foul.
Like I said, he's a comfortable guy to face. He's not going to throw the ball by you, and doesn't mean he can't get you out. Talking about Colby Lewis. And that was just a slider. Instead of getting it away, he got it in, and it's a BB.
Lewis has certainly had an interesting career, which has included some injuries. And
he went and pitched a couple years in Japan.
Bouncer slowly to short. There's Andrews.
But see, again, because he's been around the block, and as you mentioned, look, they started in 2002 with the Rangers, and then shoulders and elbows and
waiver claims.
Yeah, Japan and you name it. But right there, that was a great pitch. You know, it kind of lulls you. Hangs a slider, you rip it foul, and then he actually makes a good pitch. And if he gets another out, he qualifies for the win.
Well, here is Chris Davis, who has a pair of 2-run homers. His 9th multi-home run game in his career.
I would imagine after throwing 2 fastballs into the middle of the plate, both of them, I mean, bombs to right center field, he's going to try to get him out a little different. And there you go. You could see number 2 outside middle.
Stays away from the breaking ball. Texas has the shift on. They'll gladly let Chris Davis bunt after 2 home runs here tonight.
Well, especially a 6-5 game, they'd love that. And there's a good pitch, a little breaking ball. You know, I think back at some of the guys. You know, Greg Nettles comes to mind. The guys that hit home runs when you didn't want them to. you go back and you say, you know what, I don't know why I just didn't throw him a slider in the middle of the plate and let the break of the slider get him out, because he was such a good high fastball hitter. Not too many lefties are, so just try to, at the time you think you're making the right pitches, and then the hitters tell you that's not the case.
Yeah, Bill Welke got hit by this foul ball. That's why the slight delay. Chirinos went out to the mound to allow Welke to compose himself. 1-2 on Chris. So Davis with 2 home runs. His hitting streak is now at 10. He's got now 4 home runs and 10 RBIs in his hitting streak. Fights it off to stay alive. Obi Lewis had allowed 8 home runs in 15 starts, and he's allowed 3 here tonight. Two and 2 with 2 down. Ball 3. So the Orioles with their 27th multi-home run game, and this their 77th game. So almost a third of the games. And hit into the shift. There's Odor from shallow right field. Throws, and he gets Davis at first, and the inning ends. But the Orioles make it a 1-run game. Manny Machado comes up leading off in the 5th, and his 16th home run makes it 6-5. Farms, Royal Farms, world famous chicken and western fries, made fresh, never frozen, real fresh, real fast. Royal Farms. And by your local Mazda dealers. Beautiful flowers outside Oriole Park on this very muggy Tuesday night. Manny Machado, he is as hot as the weather. And his home run has made this a 1-run game, and still 4 innings to go.
Fresh fries at Royal Farms.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Allie's favorite place.
Allie may have them at her wedding.
Good change up right there from Brad Brock.
Hamilton is 1 out of 2. And he is 2 out of 3 as he goes the other way.
Well, we talked about what he adds, and Beltry getting healthy. Had the right shoulder surgery, so he really was never able to help the Angels. Last year hurt. Probably swung it the year before. First year with the Angels, swung at more pitches out of the zone than any hitter in the league. It just never ever seemed to be comfortable. And so if he is healthy, and that's the big if, he becomes a dynamic player. You see that approach right there. Pitch him away, he hits it that way. Tough out.
Here's Mitch Moreland, who's had himself a series. Brock misses in the dirt. 2 home runs last night for Moreland to drive in 3, and he's got a 2-run home run here tonight. So 5 RBIs in the first 2 games in this series.
Yeah, the home run he hit off of Miguel Gonzalez was an 0-2 pitch. Tried to get it up and in, didn't do it. Boy, not only did he hit it, he hit it.
And Chirinos was, or excuse me, Chu was an 0-2 pitch.
Yeah.
Chirinos worked the count.
And got a high slider. So 6 home runs. And we're only in the 6th inning.
Rich Moreland, 29 years old.
Good changeup. That's as good as Brad Brock. I mean, he can throw 93 to 94. He's got a sharp slider, but the changeup, it's a pitch that he started using last year. Won 7 games for the Orioles, coming over from San Diego. And of course, the way Moreland's swinging the bat, you need to make these pitches.
And it's inside ball 3. Well, when you look back, Chris Davis was drafted by Texas in 2006, Moreland the following year in 2007. And when the Rangers made Davis available in the trade with the Orioles, I guess you can look at it that they felt Moreland would be the better long-term player. And of course, still remains to be seen. Chris has had a good run here, and there's a walk. So 2 on with none out in a 1-run game. Fans, you can get your copy of the Orioles official legacy book, Baltimore Orioles, 60 Years of Orioles Magic, written by longtime Baltimore sports writer Jim Henneman. The book features behind-the-scenes stories, photos from the team's first 6 decades, and a special introduction written by Jim Palmer. All full or partial season plan members receive a 20% discount on purchasing the book. So to reserve your copy, visit Orioles.com/book.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering with Martin now what already the double play, a strikeout, comes in at now 3 for 45. You're wondering if they're going to bunt, but it looked like they might. And if they're going to give you an out, of course you never know this. The only way you're going to get it is if you throw a strike. Brad Brock does not have good fastball command tonight. It's pretty obvious now in his 2nd inning. But you got to throw it somewhere close, and if he's going to give you an out, you take it.
Andrews is 1 out of 2 on the night. He does show bunt, and he bunts it up in the air, and Wieters has it for the out. Oh, huge break for the Orioles.
Well, the little things, and you think, wow, 6 home runs, 11 runs scored, but they're trying to add now, and then it's just a horrible way he went to bunt that, and he just dropped the bat. Look at this. I mean, that is not a bunting 101.
And he's a guy that has 5 sacks already on the year, so he is asked to do it.
But that was almost like a bunt for a base hit, and he dropped the bat head. You always want to try to keep the bat head above your hands, and he just dropped it. And there's a strike. And
Leonys Martin, a struggling hitter, 0 for 2 tonight, including a double play.
Oh, well, Jeff Bannister a lot of faith, because if he gets him over, Martin would have come up. Played your infield probably back in the middle. You don't want to give up 2 runs. Got a little bit lucky right there. That ball looked like it got by Wieters and then bounced up and either hit his arm or a nice little break. Otherwise, the runners could have advanced. Would have been like the sacrifice bunt. There's a changeup and it comes right up and hits the ump. Yeah.
1-1 on Martin outside.
Back-to-back changeups. So now as a young hitter, we told you he's down hitting, probably hit for 10-12 minutes in the cage. He at least gets to look for a fastball here. I mean, that's what he should be doing, and we'll see if Brock throws him one. Nope, changeup. Boy, it's tough in this league, isn't it? I mean, you could bet the ranch. Well, yeah, it's ranch down in Texas. I'm going to get a fastball, and you don't get it. No such things as fastball counts, says Buck Showalter.
And he's correct.
Yeah. And now you have no idea what's coming. And then you see again the fastball, good velocity. Just he and Miguel Gonzalez, just not the normal fastball command. Well, you would think, Jim, if he throws him a 2-1, 2-2 changeup, he'll throw him a changeup here.
3-2 is popped up. Jones will call off Davis. Runners will tag to draw a throw, and heading towards third is Hamilton. Adam fires back into second. Two men down.
Do you really know if Adam can throw?
Yes.
No, I'm saying,
well,
have you seen him throw since we've come back?
Well, he hasn't.
I mean, even that was a soft toss.
Right, because he figured to keep the runner at first. I would think he wouldn't be out there if he couldn't, right?
I don't know. What I'm saying, I'm just saying. I mean, we've had 4 or 5
Wayne
games.
Kirby's been working with him,
and I understand that. They work every day, but I don't know if anybody really knows if he can throw. He says he can.
Well, maybe he did that so they think he can't. So the next time he's going to get him.
Which, again, goes back to my question. Nobody knows if he really can throw. Only Adam, and maybe
Wayne Kirby. And Buck. Well, here's Chirinos, the number 9 batter, and he popped them up, and Brock's going to get out of it. Hardy calls everybody off, and he squeezes it for the out. So 2 on and nobody out, and Texas cannot score. Mid-6th, 6-5 Rangers.
Mark Scott, the original home run derby announcer. A lot of home runs here. Chris Davis hits 2. Moreland now 3 in the last 2 nights. Well, kind of a roller coaster. There's the second one. Long home runs by Chris Davis. And a roller coaster, and then home run number 16 by Manny Machado. And those are our Geico game highlights. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote. Mark Scott. Home run derby, Jimmy.
And the Orioles within a run as a result.
The old, what was it? Wrigley Field, downtown Los Angeles, where they used to film it.
Readers fouls it back.
Yeah, the old
black and white TV show, right? Was it the late 50s, early 60s?
Yeah, it was, other than the hitting, it was pretty boring. Tell Mr. Aaron, you like to hit home runs, don't you? That's right, Mark. I like to hit home runs. I'm going to hit 755 before it's all over. That's exciting.
And Wieters goes down on strikes on 3 pitches.
Yeah, the backup slider. Sometimes the pitcher's best friend. The hitter thinks it's going to break. Watch this one spin. He's hoping it comes down. It just stays up there. But sometimes you get away. A little grimace on the right shoulder.
Well, 1 down. Here's Parmalee. He'll take high. Still flexing there.
Neck, trap, trapezius. They're all connected.
Chris singled his first at bat, 1 out of 2.
Yeah, it looks like Sam Freeman, young lefty, came over from the Cardinals, is getting up and throwing. There we go. There's Sam.
Out in front of a hanger. Yeah, Buck talking about Parmelee before the game. He was asked about, not is he surprised how well he fit in, but is he happy about that? And he said, well, you think about it, and he's a former first-round pick, and sometimes players bloom late. And to give you an idea of how valuable he was and what a good signing it was by Dan Duquette, apparently there were 2 or 3 other teams that would have tried to get him if he opted out of his contract if the Orioles didn't call him up. And knowing that, they felt, well, we signed him for just in case. Let's see what he's got. And so far he has really helped out. So that's another real good sign by Dan and his staff.
Then he can play the outfield and he can play first base well. And he was hot. He was hitting well. I mean, Jeff Bannister, manager of the Rangers, said meritorious playing time. Well, you win, you know, like Buck says, you want to come up here, play well in Norfolk. He did have the opt-out.
Towards the gap in left center field. Hamilton over, diving try, and he made the catch.
Maybe. They called him out. Not sure the third base umpire, John Hirschbeck, didn't really get out there. This might be a play that you're going to go back. Looks like it did get in the glove.
Yeah, Buck went to the top step. Now he's back leaning on the rail, so he won't challenge. Parmelee is retired for the second out. 5 in a row retired by Lewis.
Yeah, quality at bat. Hit it hard. Nice play by Hamilton. Well, they use the cestas. Highlight the big cestas.
Oh,
yeah, you know, the big gloves, the outfield gloves.
You attend the highlight matches?
When we used to have spring training in Miami, I would, for some reason, go. I mean, great athletes, just a game. It's kind of like going to the dog track with the horses. I mean, you have to kind of embrace the moment.
A lot of downtime in between games?
Not as much as horse racing. And of course, I don't spend a lot of time at the track for the dog races, but when you're in Miami, you'll take part of the ambiance and the environment there.
Right.
For the highlight. And then Andy Etchebarren, a former catcher for us, he was Basque. There was a lot of, I think, highlight players that were Basque.
Glove there by Beltre. He'll fire across, and there's a 3-up, 3-down inning. First time the Orioles have gotten in order on the game. We'll head to the 7th. 6-5 Texas. Head to the 7th and welcome into the booth Jim Hunter and Jim Palmer. And one of those nights, it's a hitter's kind of a night. It's almost like a rope-a-dope up against the ropes. Who's going to survive?
Well, I think it's probably going to be a bullpen battle. We've already seen Brad Brock come in for the Orioles. He's done well. The Orioles bullpen about a run and a half better last night. The White Sox, the Texas Rangers, they brought in about 4 guys that all threw in the mid-90s. So we'll see under pressure, because the score was 8-1, if they can handle it. We'll see how far Kobe Lewis goes. And again, it's battle of the bullpens and home run derby night. And
the Orioles are trying to get a win the final day of June to complete the month with a win and not lose back-to-back games going into July. So here is ROUGNED ODOR as Brad Brock stays on, and there's a strike. Brock allowed a single, then a walk, but did not allow a run in the 6th, helped out by the Andrews bunt attempt that he popped up.
Yeah, boy, the Orioles come back and win this game, and those are the little things, the fundamental part of the game. If we got them over, would have put pressure. The Orioles would have been forced to. Great changeup. What a difference that makes. Gives them a strikeout, ground ball pitch, swing and a miss pitch.
And the 1-2 is hit to left field. Travis Snider towards the line. He'll get there, and he's got it for the out.
Yeah, you look at all the relievers that, and it may be a splitter, maybe a changeup, but there are a lot of guys that throw 93, 94 with a hard slider. Again, everybody, you kind of get into that pattern where everything's hard, and then all of a sudden you throw in a splitter or a changeup, and everything it changes, because it becomes something that slows the bat down. You can get a strikeout. Tom Cheedy, the Oriole bullpen coach, he said, the relievers' biggest enemy is the fly ball. So if you can sink the ball, if you can strike somebody out, splitters, change-ups can allow you to do that. Becomes your best friend.
Up and away, 1-0. Here's Keela, who was in the game last night.
So Chu, home run to right center, one to left center, almost hit another one last night. And getting back to May when he hit 6 home runs and almost hit 300 for the month. Yeah, good slider.
And when you see the hitter give up halfway through the swing, you know he was fooled.
Well, I first saw it when I was in A-ball, and the Orioles came up to Aberdeen, South Dakota, and Milt Pappas was pitching. As good a slider as anybody in the history of the game. He's that good. And I go, wow.
Weak fly ball to left. Snider comes in on it, and it hangs for the out. So back-to-back outs. Brock's retired 5 in a row since the walk to Moreland.
I always talk about a hanging slider. What happens is you see the spin, and the good slider, the dot, because you throw it a little off center and it slides. And if you have the right tilt, not only does it slide, it goes down. You don't see that. And that's why it's such an effective pitch.
The 2 down. And here's Prince Fielder. Fastball right there for a strike. Fielder an RBI single in the 3rd. He's also walked and bounced into a double play. The Orioles in this game have turned 4 double plays. That is a season high in a game. A couple of times before they had turned 3. 2 have been 4-6-3 and 2 have been 6-4-3 in this game tonight.
There's a good sinking fastball. Yeah, once at a playoff game in Cincinnati, Atlanta, when they had all those teams, the Glavine Maddox years, there's the pitch. Tom Glavine won 1-0 through 5 double plays.
A ball and 2 strikes. Little bit low, and he checked in time.
And not a lot of time at 95. I think if that was last night, he would have been heading back to the dugout.
And he got him anyway. Came in with a changeup.
Yeah, and he kind of quick pitched him, which you can do.
Here are our Honda do-ups as we go to the bottom of the 7th. SNIDER, FLAHERTY, and MANNY MACHADO for the Birds in a 6-5 game. sabermetrics. And Ken Rosenthal had a story at FoxSports.com. Apparently the Angels have a little bit of a feud going on. Jerry DiPoto, according to Ken and according to sources, believes that the coaches too often rely on feel, while teams such as the AL West leading Astros are at the forefront of incorporating data. And DiPoto says the coaches in turn seemingly do not trust the information they are given and either are not willing or able to translate it for the players. Now, of course, the scouting reports in question here, Jim, contain information on defensive shifts or how to pitch to certain hitters based on counts. And apparently during a team meeting, according to Ken Rosenthal, DiPoto was in there with the players, and Albert Pujols told them the coaches are doing everything they can and working just as hard as last year. And don't forget, they won the AL West last year. We just don't have as many good players. So it's analytics, it's old school baseball. And where do you go from here?
Well, you always have that conflict. I mean, you had it with Moneyball. You had the number guys. And Kella coming on to pitch. We saw him last night, fastball, curveball guys. So you're always going to have that debate. At the end of the day, they won 98 games last year. And Mike Scioscia does know what he's doing. And DiPoto's the general manager, or the whatever title, vice president of baseball operations. So a lot of innings for Mr. Leone Kella, and they're kind of catching up with him a little bit. Last 5 outings, 4 innings, 5 runs. But again, does have that 95, 96 big overhand curveball.
Man misses low.
And then when you're young and you really haven't been out there, and this will be the first full year in the big leagues, is that a lot of times when you get a little bit tired, you try to do it more with your body, and that's not the way you speed up your arm. So we'll see if he's able to throw strikes. Good hook there.
They're playing Travis Snider to pull. A lot of room in the left center gap. It's a line drive over shortstop. That's going to roll forever. 1-2 though, the count on Snider. And he got him.
Yeah, 97. Well, the big curveball kind of sets that up, and then you get the pitch right out of the zone. And I made my living up in the zone there. You think you can hit it, you can't quite get to it. Right at the letters.
And Ryan Flaherty now, he's 0 for 2.
And there's a changeup. Yeah. A 3-pitch pitcher.
Ryan has struck out and he has grounded out.
There's another one. Scouting report. Try to get him out with breaking balls, changeups. Kella, if you were with us last night, only pitched an inning, 2/3 of an inning, less than 100 innings in the minors. Walked 50, struck out 135. Robbie Lewis trying to win for the 8th time. There it is. And you could see not as many fastballs, maybe a few more breaking balls, and it makes up for the few less changeups. 3 home runs, 2 to Chris Davis, with a chance to win.
1-2 on Flaherty, 1 out, none on. Down the left field line, and that is fading back foul.
I mean, you look at Chaz Rose getting loose, but you look at the defensive alignment for the Rangers. Most teams, talking about the dispute or the conflict between front office sometimes and the players, they're not playing Flaherty. Almost everybody plays him to pull, even though he is using left field more. So if the numbers tell me that Ryan Flaherty is a pull hitter and I have a kid throwing 97 miles per hour, I don't think I'm going to play him to pull as much. So I think that's where that disconnect sometimes comes in. I think you got to listen to the numbers. And you know that Mike Scioscia knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and they gave him a 10-year contract.
Well, it wasn't like they just gave it to him. It was
been the Angels manager for 16 years. Well, obviously the defensive shifting works. If it didn't, all the teams that use it, which is probably all the teams, wouldn't be using it as much as they do. And Chris Davis lost a base hit here tonight because of the shift. And Flaherty down on strikes. So back-to-back Ks by Keelan, 2 men down.
Well, everybody, as you know, talking to a lot of the people, you read the papers coming into the series, they go, well, Texas need to add another bullpen arm. And the reason was that they struggled early on, and then, you know, lately they've been getting a lot better. And Urquela, he comes in. I mean, as we mentioned, a very, very young man, and turned 22 in April. So he's just a couple of strikeouts on high heaters with a big curveball and a changeup to go with it.
Manny Machado, weak ground ball towards third. Beltre to his left, and the sidearm throw. And Urquela has a 3-up, 3-down inning. So the Orioles have seen 9 in a row retired by Texas pitching. Wei-Yin Chen will take the mound against Nick Martinez. Our coverage on MASN 2 will begin at 6:30 with those extra presented by Southwest. And then game coverage at 7 o'clock. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
Well, Nick Martinez really having a nice year. You know, first year last year, and again the team with all the injuries not as good as they would like. And then Wei-Yin Chen, he always pitches well. Low ERA. They don't get him a lot of runs. A nice little matchup tomorrow. Martinez maybe does it, not a hard thrower, but a command guy, can throw a lot of ground balls. And Jazz Rome come on, and boy, what a great job he's done for the Orioles. And one of the best sliders on the team. Look at that, 7 walks, more strikeouts, only 11 hits. And working on 6 scoreless appearances in a row. I think the last run he gave up was that slider he threw to David Ortiz for a solo home run.
And he gets ahead.
Yeah, came in on Sunday and was a little bit wild because he hadn't pitched in about 4 days. And here we are on Tuesday, probably a little bit better feel. And there's the slider.
Another great pickup by the O's. Signed to a minor league deal, pitched well for Norfolk. Brought up and now has become a mainstay in the bullpen.
I feel more comfortable when he gets the bugs off his face.
Well, 0-2 on Adrian Beltre. And reach for it to protect the outside corner. I don't know how he got a piece of it, but he did.
With one hand. This is a slider, and he's really just trying to keep it fair. Gets the underside of his right arm. Remember that playoff game in Cleveland with Jabba Chamberlain? Totally distract him. The lake effect, the lake bugs, or whatever they were.
Chopper, tough play here. Rowe picks it up, bobbles it, and Beltre is going to reach. How about that? A perfect pitch, a swinging bunt on a defensive squeeze, and he gets on there.
Well, They always talk about batting average and balls put in play, and if you strike out, does that ever happen? And then he should have made the play, didn't. He falls off, so he had to go back. See, right there. But I mean, that's should be an error, but probably give him a base hit. That's a play that if all you have to do is pick it up and make a good throw, which is you are a major leaguer.
And but it is a base hit. Swinging bunt. Here's Josh Hamilton. And a strike.
Well, they'd like to add, and that may help him.
Oh, 1 on Hamilton, 2 out of 3 in his return from the DL, and it's outside.
Yeah, Chaz Rowe, he pitched in I think one of the games we did. The Orioles did what, about 5-6 games in spring training on Masson. And you go, yeah, you know, pretty good arm, 6'4", nice downward angle, but he didn't have 94. And the slider, because it was spring training, not quite as sharp as it is now. A lot of movement.
This is outside, 2-1.
Yeah, normally when you throw a two-seam fastball, you just kind of hold your fingers along with those two seams if you rotate a ball. He actually has one finger on the seam. Kind of an unusual. He was showing me, I think in Houston. Oh, there's a good fastball. Hamilton taking more than maybe a single. He has a couple of them tonight.
A 2-2 with 1 on and none down. 1-run game. Right there for strike 3, and Hamilton just walks away. And 1 down here in the Texas 8th.
Well, first game back, and right there, good fastball. Poured it in there. Right on the outside portion of the plate. Outside, I call that plate 17 inches wide, so outside quarter.
Mitch Moreland, 2-run home run his first at bat. He's since grounded out and walked. And pitch up to 94, 0-1.
Well, and then it's the movement. Throws 2 fastballs, but mostly the 2-seamer, and that's where you get the late life.
High fly ball to left. Snider back as this ball carries at the wall, and it's gone. It carried out the other way, and another home run for Mitch Moreland. A 2-run shot, and Texas now with a 3-run cushion and an 8-5 lead.
So now a 7 multi-hit home run game. Folks, that was a routine fly ball until it landed. I mean, again, change the stance, back spins it. That does make the ball go a little bit farther. And right there, it's what, 364, 368-foot fly ball home run here at Camden Yards.
So Texas scored 8 last night. They have 8 again tonight, and a 3-run lead in the 8th inning. So the swinging bunt hurts as Beltre got on, and what should have been an out, he scores. Same thing happened on the ROUGNED ODOR base hit off the glove of Miguel in the 3rd, and out there he doesn't come around to score.
Well, like I said last night, have you ever seen a hitter that comes into this ballpark that doesn't embrace it? A lot of pitchers. Just such a great place to hit. You know, the infield relatively fair. I mean, it's not real hard, not real slow. Power alleys very reachable.
Slowly hit ground ball. Manny will cut in front of J.J. Hardy and will gun it to first for the 2nd out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. And Shepard's now getting loose to work the bottom of the 8th. Orioles now down by 3. So Mitch Moreland has a pair of 2-run home runs in this game. Chris Davis has a pair of 2-run home runs in this game. And Texas has hit 4 out. Here's another base hit. Adam Jones trying to cut it off. He gets there, turns, fires, trying for 2 is Martin, and with his speed he gets there.
We mentioned extra hitting. He finally gets a hit. They like his defense. We'll take a look right here. I mean, he's happy. Came in 3 for 43. Adam Jones gets to it quickly. There's the arm. So he can throw. First time we've seen him have to make a throw, and he was able to do it. But again, Martin just too quick. It's the way you run out of the box. Turn a single into a double easily.
The Texas 26 hits in the first 2 games in this series and not done yet.
Well, they are what they were 7th in home runs before yesterday's game. Now they're 5th. That's going to drop a little bit. Hitting another 4.
8 earned runs charged to the Orioles pitching staff after 8 earned runs last night. Oh, and 1 on Chirinos. And that's down and in. Chirinos single and a run in the 3rd inning. He got that rally started with a leadoff single. Then he hit a leadoff home run in the 5th inning. Popped up to short in the 6th. And a bouncer to Hardy. JJ guns at the first, and the inning ends, but not before the Rangers get 2 big add-on runs on the home run by Moreland. Bottom of the 8th coming up, 8-5 Texas. Hosted a clinic for the National Play Campaign. Orioles head athletic trainer Richie Bancells and Manny Machado took part in the clinic. It helps raise awareness about the children's health issues and the obesity epidemic in the United States. Play has conducted over 150 events inside all 30 Major League ballparks, and for Richie, the 11th year holding the clinic here at Camden Yards.
One of the 32nd year, I think 28th full year as the head trainer of the Orioles. Actually ran the Trainers Association of Major League Baseball players. I think he was president for like 25 years, something like that. So around forever. Take a look. There we go. Tanner Shepard's hard thrower, 95, 96, hard slider. Came in and got some work last night. So he's healthy. Last year started early, had elbow problems.
Well, the Orioles have the heart of the order coming up here, now down by 3. Here's Paredes.
Well, you're hoping you get a little help.
Jimmy 0 for 3. He has flied out twice and struck out.
You know, Colby Lewis does give up 5 runs, but didn't walk anybody. Came in at a little bit under 2 runs a game. You think we talked about the run support, and that's nice to get. I mean, almost 7 runs a game for him.
Glove there by Sheppers. And a soft toss to first. Paredes retired, 1 away. For every Orioles walk, CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the March of Dimes. The O's have drawn 191 walks for a total of $9,550. CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. Adam Jones reached on an error, scored in the first, singled, scored in the third, and grounded out. So Adam with a hit in each game in this series.
And Beltry does give him the bunt. And there's a good breaking ball, and it's called a strike. 4-pitch pitcher. That's why they thought he could start last year. That did not go well. Along with a mid-90 fastball.
Chopper towards short. Andrews. And Jones is retired for the second out. Here comes Chris Davis, the Lexus of Towson drive of the game. This is Chris Davis in the first inning, hitting a 2-run shot. That gave the Orioles at the time a 2-0 lead against Lewis. It followed an error which would have been the final out of the inning. The drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer, 5 years running. See why at lexusoftowson.com. His 9th multi-home run game.
And there's 96. Zach Britton.
11 in a row have been retired by Texas.
Well, last night they came in a little bit different. It was 8-1, but 1 for 12 with 7 strikeouts.
The last Oriole to reach was Manny Machado's leadoff home run in the 5th against Colby Lewis. Lewis then retired the final 6 batters he faced. Kella had a 3-up, 3-down 7th. Now the first retired in the 8th until Davis sends that ball to center field, but playable for LEONYS Martin. He's got it. So the Orioles go 3 up and 3 down for a 3rd consecutive inning. 9th inning coming up at Camden Yards. It is 8-5 Texas. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Lovely night here at Camden Yards. Score favoring Texas as we go to the 9th. And here's Zach Britton on for an inning of work.
And he hasn't pitched since and he is the Oriole closer. And fastballs, I mean, one of the best sinkers in the business. Low ERA. And hardly walks anybody. Doesn't give up a lot of base hits. If they are, they're usually on the ground. And again, lefty's only at 138. I mean, We're talking about the frequency of cheap infield hits is just amazing because he gets you to hit it on the ground. You know, this is really about holding the game where it is and, you know, give the Orioles a chance in the bottom of the ninth, but also the fact you got to get some work in.
And last pitch Friday against the Indians. He's been on some kind of a roll. Here's Odor, top of the lineup for Texas. Zach in his last 18 games has 15 saves and has pitched to an ERA of 0.96. Tremendous consistency for Britain. And he threw a breaking ball there, and Odor fouls it off.
Well, it's a good game, you know, to work on the breaking ball. There's their closer, Sean Tollison.
Chu on deck, then Fielder against Zach here in the ninth.
You know, most of the time when he comes in, and it seems lately, the saves have been one-run saves, the most difficult. No room for error. So you don't want to get beat on. Not that he doesn't have a good breaking ball, but when the sinker is so good, it is a secondary pitch. And it's not a bad pitch, you know, to throw to Odor, as long as you just keep it down in the zone.
High chopper. There's another one of those potential hits. Britton turns. He gets it. Wow. Fielded that perfectly. The chopper up in the air, one away.
Hey, you got to field it under control. And boy, when a ball's hit like that, and you know, it happened over the course of my career, you just wait to come down. You almost want to leap up and catch it. But just catch it under control. And then nice 180.
Yeah, and a nice setup by Parmelee.
Yep. Well,
he gave Zach plenty of room.
Yeah, that 45-foot line, I mean, eventually the runner's going to have to touch, because the edge of the base is actually on the foul line. I mean, but it's in fair territory. And again, there's no way that the runner, if you look at that 40, he's going to be right in your line. So Parmelee goes to where he gives him an avenue, and he makes a perfect throw. Heads up play, made it easy once Zach made the play.
Here's Chu, solo home run in 3 trips. After he had a 3-hit night, including a home run last night. So hitters against Britain, you know he's got the sinker that he throws the majority of the time. So you have to respect that. And now he's working in a few more of those breaking balls. Not a large amount, but a few. So as a hitter, I guess the thought gets in your head, you have to look for the sinker.
Well, you hit off 95 or 96, and you hope he hangs the slider. If he makes a good pitch with it, it's Powder River. It's all over. Go back, get the glove if you're a position player.
And his sinker sinks so late.
He's Zach Britton. Yeah, there you go. Bottom drops out. I thought Buck Showalter, he said most guys, if you're lefty, the ball will run a little bit. This one just seems like it goes straight down. So it's in the zone. It's real hard. The only guy that I remember, and he's had a couple of Tommy Johns, was Johnny Bitters, remember, of Atlanta?
Yes.
He and Kimbrough were as good as you could get, righty and lefty, about 3 years ago. He had one of those 95, 96 mile per hour sinkers as a left-hander.
And there's the breaking ball appeal. He didn't go.
So says John Hirschbeck.
So Prince doesn't like the batting gloves. He has tape on the bat.
Prince can do whatever he wants to do.
There's a chopper. Right there's Hardy in the shift, and Zach Britton has a 3-up, 3-down ninth inning. Here we go. Bottom of the ninth coming up. The O's will send Wieters, Parmelee, and Hardy up, down by 3.
with too many home runs by the Texas Rangers again tonight.
Too much Mitch Moreland.
Yeah.
This guy's on fire since he showed up here in Baltimore. We thought maybe it would be Fielder. We thought maybe even Hamilton if he was activated today, which he was. Not the case. It's Moreland.
Do or die, bottom half of the ninth inning for the Orioles are trailing by 3. Let's go back upstairs now to Jim Hunter and Jim Palmer.
So I'm not the only one that said that. Thank you, Tom and Dave. As 8-5 game as we go to the bottom of the ninth. 12 in a row have been retired by Rangers pitching. And here is the closer, Sean Tollison, on looking for a save.
Yeah, not a lot of appearances. If you look in the save categories, only 2 save chances the last 19 games. So he comes in, hard thrower. Got a real good changeup, slider, fastball, 92, 93. 10 for 10, you can see there, right there. And then righties don't hit him very well. Lefties a little bit better numbers. And he's got a 3-run situation as far as going for the save at 8-5. Tom Davis and what's his name?
Well, it happens. You sit next to somebody for so many times.
Well, Gary Thorne called me Rick the other night.
Oh,
That's all right. That's a compliment. So you need a little help. No walks tonight by the Ranger pitching staff.
And the Orioles haven't had a base runner since the leadoff batter in the 5th. And here's Wieters. He is 0 for 3. And a strike at the knees on 1. Matt has 3 hits in his last 12 at-bats. And a slow roller towards second base. There's Odor. And the all-important first out in the 9th inning. You can follow the Orioles wherever you are with MLB.com at bat. It is the #1 app for live baseball. At bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replays, reviews, radio broadcast, StatCast, and more. So get MLB.com at bat for your smartphone or tablet.
That's a must if you're a baseball fan.
It's fabulous.
So you need some runners. John Tollison says, with a 3-run lead, I'm not going to walk anybody. And there's another
slow roll.
Yeah. A little bit harder play, but Odor makes it look pretty routine. Well, the one thing, the Rangers came in, they'd only won, 2 of the last 10 games. They did win a game up against Toronto. Always hard to win up there. If they win tonight, they'll be back to 2 games over 500. They had a list of all their injuries. They're going to be getting guys back. They're in the pennant race. So this is a club a little different than the Cleveland club that came in. Well, the Indians, 12 and a half games out. This is a contending ball club that has a lot to lose if they don't win. And they've taken it to the Orioles the last 2 nights.
16 runs on 26 hits in 2 games. And the Orioles were the hottest team in baseball going into tomorrow night's series opener. High strike, 1-1 on JJ, who was 1 out of 3. Matt Wieters frustrated by the sinker that he rolled over on. When your team scores 5 runs, you feel pretty good about it. Texas in this game with the 4 home runs, driving in 6 of the runs. That itself enough to top the Orioles' 5 runs, and it's 3-1 on Hardy.
How about getting your closer off waivers? That's John Tollison pitching for the Dodgers, and then all of a sudden he's in the Ranger bullpen 64 games, and then he becomes a closer.
And there's a 2-out walk.
Well, they have to get 27 before it ends. And I would imagine they'll play behind him with a 3-run lead. And the thing, I think that's what Keith Moreland's yelling over. Take away the hole.
So getting those first 2 outs, big for Tollison. Here is Travis Snider, who is 0 for 3. Travis now on the homestand, 1 for 11. And a little strike on the outside corner. Snyder discussing the call with Bill Welty. Hardy will run. Check swing, and it's down and in. Appeal, he went. That will not be a stolen base for Hardy. Defensive indifference. Fans getting on John Hirschbeck at third base. Each appeal against Texas hitters was denied. That one.
Well, that was a swing.
Well, it was.
And so was Fielders, but not as obvious. Bat didn't go. You don't have to break the wrist, just how far the bat travels. That's what they. There's a good take there. Yeah, Tollefson, we mentioned, came with the Dodgers. He had a hip problem, and that's how I guess they figured they could take him off the 40-man rosters. And John Daniels and the Texas boys said, hey, here's a guy with a good arm. He had pitched well for the Dodgers in the major leagues. Next thing you know, he's a Ranger, and now the closer. Still looking for an out.
That's in right field. Shoe over, won't get it. It's down for a hit. Hardy will score. Snyder is on, and the tying run will come to the plate. What a good swing on a 1-2 pitch.
Well, he made a horrible pitch, and then your job as a hitter is to hit the hanging changeup, and he does. Stays back, just try to shorten your swing. I mean, you could see the changeup grip. He tries to turn it over. Look at how it hangs. Really, pretty much up in the middle of the plate, and that'll get the bat head out to where Snyder wants it. A nice at bat. Easily could have swung at that curveball on strike 2 and took it. And now Flaherty does not hit a lot of home runs, but certainly capable of doing it.
His last home run was on June 16th. Upstairs, 1-0.
So now all of a sudden, one swing and you're tied. Darren O'Day will get loose. Tied up, he'll come in. Britton, the closer, came in and really did his job. Got him out, got him to this point. And of course, the Rangers playing very deep in the outfield. The important guy is to keep Flaherty from getting to second base.
And there's ball 2.
You know, I saw him try to close a game. We mentioned he's only had 2 save opportunities because they weren't playing well last 19 games, and a little bit didn't get the first 2 guys out, but he was all over the place. And a lot of that is not that you're nervous, it's just that you're not out there a lot. The Orioles maybe will be able to take advantage of that.
Snyder runs, and the pitch is swung on and fouled off.
Yeah, kind of like that inside fastball. That's the ball that Ryan could pull. We have seen it doesn't take much to get one out of here today.
So 2-1. 8-6, tying run at the plate. The starter with 2 outs and nobody on. Snyder runs again, and it's inside, throw down, not in time. That's a stolen base.
Boy, he better make it, and he does. Yeah, good arm right here by.
You know, that pitch was close. Maybe the Chirinos having to jump up to throw gave Flaherty that call. Well, 3-1 is the count on Flaherty.
And they threw him a changeup. And boy, that really sets it up. You look on deck, if you're Sean Tollefson, you see one of the hottest hitters in baseball, Manny Machado. Not only you throw the right pitch, you execute it. That's what pitching's all about. And now if you're Ryan, it really slows your bat down. I mean, you have no idea what he's going to throw you.
And a chopper foul to stay alive.
And there's another changeup. Yeah, the book on Sean Tollefson, sinker baller, likes to keep the ball down. He's got a slider. But really, of the secondary pitches, the changeup is probably the most effective. It's one of those nights, though, if you throw it and you hang it, which is what he did to Snyder, could be a tie ball game.
This will be the 7th pitch in this at-bat for Flaherty, trying to keep it going. Snider is at second with 2 down with a run in. And time requested at the plate, and Chirinos is going to go out for a visit.
Yeah, Robinson, Chirinos was saying, okay, now what do we want to do? I mean, we got to get him out, but we don't want to walk him. Machado, who's on deck already, is homered tonight. Meanwhile, Ryan Flaherty's trying to relax and put a good swing on whatever he throws, and he has no idea what that's going to be.
So a 3-2 pitch here to Flaherty. And called strike 3 on the outside corner, and that's how the game ends. So the Orioles do get the tying run to the plate, but the Rangers hold on, and they have won the first 2 in this series.
Yeah, he backdoors a breaking ball. And Chirinos makes a nice, he brings it in, just catches the outside corner. There's the overhead, the definitive angle here at Camden Yards. Pretty clutch pitching, even though the Orioles give them a scare here in the 9th.
So the Orioles score 6, but not enough. We hope you could join us tomorrow for more O's action. Wei-Yin Chen on the mound against Nick Martinez. Game 3 in this series. Our coverage on MASN 2 will begin at 6:30 with O's Extra presented by Southwest, and then game coverage at 7 o'clock. And now for Jim Palmer and our entire hardworking crew, Jim Hunter saying so long from Camden Yards, where the Rangers beat the Orioles by the final of 8-6. Tonight's telecast, a MASN presentation. Tom and Dave, O's Extra presented by PNC, comes your way right now. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.